Hello and welcome to a new week of Circle Time with me, Miss Rebecca from Waldorful Days. Let's begin. Fires bright, burning bright, share with us your golden light. We are truthful and helpful and loving in trust, for our heart's inner sun glows brightly in us. We will open our hearts to the sunbeams so bright, and we'll fill all of the world with our heart's inner light. Hello, welcome. So let's begin with our days of the week. What day do you think it is today? And how many days are there in a week? You can show me on your fingers. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days. Let's see what they are. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 7 days. So let's have our days of the week song. There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days a week. There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so today we have a little story about a woodcutter who is going to one of the great forests to cut some wood so he can sell it and buy some yummy vegetables for his poorly child. So let's go on an adventure together. There was once a poor woodcutter and his wife who lived near one of the great forests with their child. Unfortunately, the child was quite sick, but the woodcutter and his wife had no money to go and buy any medicine. So the woodcutter thought that maybe if he went to the great forest to cut down some wood, he could sell it at the market and he would make enough money to get some vegetables to help his child feel better again. And so off he set with his big axe over his shoulder, and off he went to the great forest to collect some wood. 5 little pine trees standing straight and tall stretch out their branches as snow begins to fall. Along comes a woodcutter on his way to town. Chip, chop, the tree falls down. We now have 4. 4 little pine trees standing straight and tall stretch out their branches as snow begins to fall. Along comes a woodcutter on her way to town. Chip, chop, the tree falls down. And now we have 3. 3 little pine trees standing straight and tall stretch out their branches as snow begins to fall. Along comes a woodcutter on his way to town. Chip, chop, the tree falls down. And now we have 2, just 2 left. 2 little pine trees standing straight and tall stretch out their branches as snow begins to fall. Along comes the woodcutter on her way to town. Chip, chop, the tree falls down. And now we have just one. One little pine tree standing straight and tall stretches out its branches as snow begins to fall. Along comes a woodcutter on his way to town. Chip, chop, chip, chop, the tree falls down. And now we have no more. No little pine trees standing straight and tall. Where have they gone as the snow gently falls? So the woodcutter continued on his journey to the great forest, carrying his heavy axe with him and feeling a little worried about his child. He looked up. He could hear some beautiful bird song. It was winter at this time in the great forest, and he did not hear birds very often. He looked harder to see who he could see. It's a little sparrow up in the tree, making a beautiful song. Oh, he looks a little bit cold, that sparrow. Sparrow in the winter, pecking at the street. Have you got a place to rest and enough to eat? Hop into my garden and on a table spread, you'll find a feast of mealworms, seeds and crumbs and bread. Little sparrow, hungry sparrow, nod your tiny head. Sing a song of springtime and warmer days ahead. Sing a song of springtime and warmer days ahead. The little sparrow flew away, and on carried the woodcutter. Now the woodcutter loved the great forest. He knew that it was a magical place, and he heard that little gnomes lived here. He had never seen a little gnome, and he really hoped that one day he would. He heard it was good luck. And so as he walked into the forest, ready to cut some trees, he heard a little tiny giggle. What is it, he thought. And then he heard a squirrel. And a giggle, a squirrel, a giggle. And so the woodcutter crept very quietly behind a big, big pine tree. And then he looked around and he could not believe his eyes. There was a little gnome woman playing with a squirrel. Oh, the frisky little squirrel, he gathers nuts and seeds. He hides them for the winter months, so he'll have all he needs. Oh, up, up, up he goes, and down, down, down he comes. He runs around, climbs up and down. His work is never done. Oh, up, up, up he goes, and down, down, down he comes. He runs around, climbs up and down. His work is never done. And so the squirrel and the little tiny gnome woman spotted the woodcutter. And the tiny gnome woman could see how sad he was. Why are you so sad, woodcutter? Well, the woodcutter felt quite surprised to be spoken to by the tiny gnome woman. But when he finally got past his surprise, he told her about his poorly child who was sick and he did not have any medicine. And so the little tiny gnome woman reached into her bag that was around her waist and out she pulled this pink sparkly potion. Take this, woodcutter, she said. This will make your child better. For she did not like to see the woodcutter so sad. And so the woodcutter took the tiny potion, put it into his pocket where it was nice and safe. And then he went on his way to see if he could go and collect some wood. But before long, he saw that the moon was rising and the sun was setting. It was time to go already. What had happened to all that time? And so, without even cutting any wood, but with a tiny potion in his pocket, off he went. The golden day is passing beyond the purple hill. The golden day is passing beyond the purple hill. The lark that sang at morning in dusky wood is still. The lark that sang at morning in dusky wood is still. But soon above the meadows the silvery moon will swing. But soon above the meadows the silvery moon will swing. And where the wood is darkest the nightingale will sing. And where the wood is darkest the nightingale will sing. And so he went home and gave his child that tiny little potion. And lo and behold, as minutes passed, he saw the colour return to her face, and he saw her get out of bed and regain her energy. He was so grateful. For the golden corn and the apples in the tree, for the yellow butter and the honey in our tea, for fruits and nuts and berries that grow along the way, for birds and bees and flowers, we're thankful every day. The next day, the woodcutter rose very early, and his child was awake too, and they decided to go to the woods together to see if they could find the tiny gnome woman so they could thank her for all that she had done for them. And so off they set to the great forest together. And after searching around for a little while, they heard a little noise and looked down, and there she was at their feet. Carrying with her, she had a tiny bag, and she gave it to them. And magically the bag got bigger, and they looked inside, and it was full of golden pine cones. "This is for you," said the little tiny gnome woman, "and you will never be poor again or need for anything." The woodcutter and the child were so grateful to have found this lovely tiny gnome woman who had given them these beautiful golden pine cones, so they would never be poor again. "I'm a little pine cone, brown and small. I live in a pine tree, oh so tall. When the cold wind blows, I dance and hop down on the ground with a plop, plop, plop." Fires bright, burning bright, thank you for your golden light. 1, 2, 3. May the sun shine upon you. May love surround you. May the light within you guide you through your day. Have a beautiful day. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.